With Call of Duty World War II, developer Sledgehammer Games and publisher Activision insist that the game is meant to be a realistic, authentic, and accurate take on the most tragic war in human history that saw tens of millions of people die around the world and ideological genocide occur on a hitherto unprecedented scale. To recreate this devastation and horror, they will have loot boxes in the game, because of course there are loot boxes in the game, drop for you onto Normandy, the game's social hub, right in front of other players. And as you open them, the animations will again be visible for other players too, at least according to Reddit. I remember when randomized loot boxes governed by RNG or how much money I paid a game publisher helped the Allied powers win the Second World War. Those were good times. Of course, on Activision's part, this is a smart and manipulative move. By showing other players the loot that a player is getting from loot crates, they're essentially subtly nudging them into spending money on loot crates themselves. And of course, in the process, they're also recreating World War II authentically. At Sony Corporation's quarterly financial conference call for investors and analysts, the company went into detail regarding what the future of the PlayStation business would be. Basically, the company has started seeing the benefits of recurring revenue through network services and an active user base. Finance and corporate development executive Atsuko Murakami talked about how the PlayStation Plus service will be made attractive for users, and the company has been implementing measures towards achieving that goal. Since the model now is one that is based on direct sale to consumers, it makes sense for the company to focus on its active user base and the use of a service such as PlayStation Plus. Due to these reasons, Chief Financial Officer Kenichiro Yoshida stated that the focus is shifting from hardware towards maintaining and expanding the user base. Yoshida also spoke of microtransactions in games and how the proportions of such sales are also increasing. The company expects that with John Kodera as the new CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, the company can make significant progress in the network segment. While Sony's games have had a limited number of microtransactions so far, this may change with time under Kodera's leadership. Activision had recently caused a controversy with news about a patent that would help encourage players to make use of microtransactions. Now, the company has filed another patent that also aims to promote microtransactions through the video game stream system. The patent is titled System and Method of Identifying Portions of Video Game Streams for Driving Microtransactions. Basically, the VGS system is used to generate metadata from live streams and playback of gameplay. This information will then be used to highlight items that may be bought in-game and may even showcase products that are being advertised. Here's how it's explained in the patent. In some instances, a metadata track may include microtransaction information that identifies an item available for purchase. In some instances, the item may include a virtual item depicted in a corresponding video game playback, or a real-world item advertised as an overlay over the corresponding video game playback. The patent would actually be useful on one level, allowing players to stream videos with highly specific details. Players can also stream their games from multiple angles, and viewers will be able to view a video from different angles as well. However, the promotion of microtransactions may be seen by many as being intrusive and harmful to the gaming industry. As of now, Activision hasn't actually implemented this feature into any of its games, so let's hope it stays that way in the future. The Xbox One X is set to release on November 7th, and it will be the most powerful console in the world. However, it must be asked whether the console's high specifications really give it the edge over its competitor, the PS4 Pro. Speaking to The Telegraph, PlayStation's global sales head Jim Ryan also expressed his belief that specifications alone don't really matter much. Specs are interesting, but that's all they are, specifications. The proof is in how the games look, said Ryan, and which games they are. You saw last night. Referring to Sony's media showcase at Paris Games Week, Ryan said, "You saw last night there was a great range of games, many of which are exclusive to our platform, and you will only find on a PS4 Pro that I think allow us to feel, as I said almost 3 times last night, that we remain the best place to play." That's a good point, as it would be pointless for games to look fantastic on a console if there weren't enough great-looking games on that console in the first place. Sony's approach in nurturing a network of studios, such as Naughty Dog and Guerrilla Games, have helped them snag great exclusives such as Uncharted 4 and Horizon Zero Dawn for their console. What could help Xbox One X gain an edge then is if it's able to use all the power of the console effectively by getting great exclusives that are able to make full use of the console's full potential. Nintendo's Super Mario Odyssey has been a critical and commercial hit for Nintendo, selling 2 million copies in just 3 days. It's a bigger success story than that though. Nintendo has confirmed on Twitter and via an official statement that it's the fastest selling Mario game in history. With 1.1 million units sold in the United States alone, Super Mario Odyssey is the fastest selling Mario game in that region, beating out New Super Mario Bros. Wii in the process. By Nintendo Switch standards, it's the fastest selling game for the console thus far. If that weren't enough, it's also the fastest selling Mario game in Europe. Super Mario Odyssey is the highest rated game of the year so far as per Metacritic, followed by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Switch and Wii U, and Divinity Original Sin 2 on PC. Described as a throwback to the golden days of Super Mario 64, fans have appreciated the game's open approach and sheer range of things to do. The upcoming Spider-Man game on the PS4 looks pretty good. It basically looks like a love letter written to fans of the web-slinging superhero, drawing liberally from the rich source material that is the comic books and mythos that made him so beloved worldwide. And in what will be a treat for many longtime fans of the series, Insomniac Games, who are developing the game, have confirmed on the PlayStation blog that the game will have Mary Jane Watson as a playable character during key moments in the game. Mary Jane has a significant role here too, Insomniac Games creative director Brian Intihar said, pointing out that her story will take her through the underbelly of New York as she tries to examine the weird occurrences that have been taking place in the city of late. He also hinted that Miles Morales' appearance in the trailer is hugely significant, though we got no other confirmation regarding him. Spider-Man is due to launch exclusively on the PS4 early next year. Sony's trailers from its Paris Games Week showing have caused quite a bit of stir in some parts. However, Sony's Jim Ryan has spoken out about allegations of decontextualized violence in the videos shown on stage, saying that the games are ultimately meant for mature audiences who can handle the themes and content that the games will be tackling. "We showed a lovely range of games at the media showcase last night," Ryan replied when asked for his take on the reaction during an exclusive interview with The Telegraph. "The Last of Us obviously is a game made by adults to be played by adults. I should never prejudge this, but it will probably be rated 18, I think it's fair to say. And there's that market for those people who like that sort of game. Adults who like that sort of game, and I think we cater for that." And at the other end of the spectrum, there was Concrete Genie, which my 8-year-old decided was the game she would like to play very much. "I think a platform holder provides a platform, and the people who make games, whether they are our own studios or third-party publishers, they bring the content to that platform. We provide the platform. We have to ensure the right content is played by the right people, of appropriate ages in particular. I thought The Last of Us Part 2 was a great way to end the show, and I feel very good about it." One of the problems people have apparently pointed out is not that there is violent content, but that the violence is decontextualized in these trailers. According to Ryan, judging the games just based on what he agrees are decontextualized trailers is not the best way to go about things. "I think what we're trying to do is portray qualities of the various games we had on show, and I think it's difficult when you have a clip of 4 to 5 minutes to synthesize a gameplay experience that can be measured in the tens of hours. And again, the studio was seeking to portray a game that will be rated as suitable for adults to play, and that's what we did." We do agree with Ryan that assessing the final game based on these trailers is not the best thing to be doing, especially in the case of The Last of Us, which is by Naughty Dog, who have shown themselves to be temperate and great at handling heady subject matter. Nonetheless, at the same time, we can also sympathize with people who are specifically criticizing the trailers because the trailers in and of themselves, as they are, do not necessarily stand as the best representations of the games in question. In the end, we're sure The Last of Us Part 2 will be fantastic and that it will contextualize this scene wonderfully well. In the meanwhile, this trailer is all we have to go by for now, so we can understand where people criticizing it are coming from too. The Last of Us Part 2 currently has no release date, but it will launch exclusively on the PS4. That'll be it for this video. If you like what we're doing, please go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.